Glad to have you on Friday Briefing tonight. Trust you had a great day. Well, tonight we have the latest from around the country, including the no-nonsense statement President Uhuru Kenyatta made today in relation to insecurity in the country. Also, you know it's Friday when we have a guest anchor in studio. And Jalango Mwenyewe, as you can see, is getting all glammed up for the big task. Usinone sana. Jalango, is that the only suit you have? The only shirt, blouse, whatever that is?
This is a blouse.
Oh, it's a blouse.
I'll tell you the story of this blouse. Wacha nipakwe kwanza. Usiniweke mingi kwa macho,
Jalango will be joining us in just a short while. And that is not all, of course. Willis, the word master, is also going to be joining us from Kisumu County for tonight's Mind Your Language lesson. You definitely want to stick around for that. Remember, you can interact with me on Twitter with the hashtag Friday Briefing. Let's begin with the top stories tonight. And we begin in Mombasa now, where police kept vigil on streets all day ahead of the anticipated demonstrations to protest the killing of controversial preacher Abubakar Sharif. The protest eventually did not take off, but as KTN's Ferdinand Omondi reports, chilling messages blared from the loudspeakers of Majengo's controversial Masjid Shuhada.
Mombasa was tense as the faithful of Masjid Shuhada finalized their Friday prayers in the week one of their influential leaders was killed. Towards the end, the speakers blared disturbing messages. Someone from the mosque was calling for revenge. Some of the messages so chilling we cannot reproduce them. All this apparently to avenge the death of Sheikh Abubakar Sharif, alias Makaburi, who was felled by assassins' bullets last Tuesday. After the service, some of them attempted to demonstrate while hurling stones at the police and the media. It is unclear who exactly had called for revenge, but the message clearly left some youth charged, and police had to disperse them with tear gas canisters and shots in the air.
Hatuwezi kukaa nchi kiharibio hivi tukiona hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Watu waambiwe.
Another demonstration, which had been planned by the civil society, was cancelled at the last minute amid security concerns.
Let them not use youths for their own political agendas in future. And that's the position we are taking here.
We have opted to postpone today's procession. The civil society groups that organize this procession will meet on Monday to set a new date.
This demonstration, according to the security side, it is insecure. I'm appealing to the public not to attend to that demonstration.
Now, the county commissioner is putting Mombasa leaders and activists on notice over what he says is incitement.
He should go to the county government and offer his opinion how some issues should be solved. But he should not go to the streets, start misusing the youths, and a double speak, mchana anahubiri amani, usiku anahubiri vile wata-attack watu, vile wata-demonstrate kwa town.
The mosque is on anti-terror watch over suspected radicalization of youth, and the latest brazen words may only fortify the allegations. The mosque was known as Masjid Musa, but has now changed its name to Masjid Shuhada, or Martyrs Mosque, following the controversial killing of some of its clerics. Mombasa remains on the spot over recent security breaches. Bombs capable of mass destruction were intercepted and destroyed 2 weeks ago before gunmen raided a church service in Likoni area and sprayed it with bullets, killing at least 6. Early this week, unidentified people shot dead controversial preacher Abubakar Sharif Makaburi. A new police station has now been unveiled at the Likoni ferry under an OCS to keep round-the-clock vigilance over the very critical installation that joins the north and south coast. Ferdinand Omondi, KTN, Mombasa.
Well, here in Nairobi, 15 members of parliament joined up with police and Nairobi's Eastleigh business community to discuss the security of the capital's most threatened estate. This is President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy once again promised heightened vigilance and action on suspected terrorists. Wilson Buru reports.
In total, 12 innocent people have died in a span of 2 weeks in terrorism-related incidents. And now, the government has decided to intensify the war on terror.
Sisi hatuwezi kuvumilia watu wachukue ukarimu wetu kama Wakenya, iwe ndio njia sasa ya kuja kuleta maafa kwa Wakenya.
The president was speaking in Kiganjo as the worst-hit estate in Nairobi, Eastleigh, was also holding their crisis meeting on security. 15 members of parliament joined the police and business leaders in Eastleigh Estate to strategize on how to end insecurity in the capital city. The business community and the MPs urged the government to ensure that security has been beefed up to stem out terrorist elements. It is not anything the government has not said before, making promises that Kenyans will be safe and secure. But the question is, until when will these promises become action? When will Kenyans start feeling safe inside their own country? Only time will tell. Wilson Buru, KTN, Nairobi.
Well, Wilson's story leads us to a big question tonight, and we ask, do you think the repeated strong warnings to terrorists are making any difference? Do you think the repeated strong warnings to terrorists are indeed making any difference? Interact with us. The number is 22155, or if you choose to comment via Twitter, tweet me at Betty Kialo, at KTN Kenya, or with the hashtag Friday Briefing, and we'll sample your views during the show. Let's move on now to Nyeri County, where President Uhuru Kenyatta presided over the controversial police pass-out parade that had been stopped by a court order. Officials said they were never served with the order issued by the industrial court. During the function, the president had tough warnings for criminals, giving them a 2-week ultimatum to surrender their weapons. Patrick Amimo with that story.
Wimbo wa Taifa. Several hours after arriving from Brussels, President Uhuru Kenyatta headed to Nyeri to officiate over the pass-out parade for 2,209 recruits at the Kenya Police Training College in Kiganjo. Aware of public concern over rising insecurity in various parts of the country, where armed criminals have been spreading terror in villages and urban settlements, the president issued a 2-week ultimatum for the surrender of illegal weapons.
Kwa wale ambao wanabeba silaha ambazo hazina kibali, illegal weapons, siku ya leo tunawapatia wiki 2 warudishe hizo silaha na watasamehewa.
But the government has in the past issued similar ultimatums and even threatened to carry out disarmament exercises only to backpedal. Will security agencies walk the talk this time round?
Giving that amnesty for 2 weeks for people to surrender illegal weapons, failure to which they shall face the full force of the law.
The president said the government will not relent on its war on terror. Uhuru urged the public to be vigilant and support security agents in flashing out terror suspects.
Enough is enough. Terrorists, cattle rustlers, poachers, and all manner of criminals will not take over our country.
Support this determination by giving us information and to not allow those who are compromising our security to live in our midst.
The pass-out ceremony took place despite an industrial court order that had stopped the exercise on grounds that some of the officers had been irregularly recruited. The president urged the new officers to work towards ensuring security to the country. The officers will be immediately deployed to Nairobi, Mombasa, and other counties that have witnessed high cases of insecurity.
Let the actions be guided by the need to serve the public with the distinction, employing their fresh knowledge, applying new skills which they have learned, and as they go out to mirror to the public a new way of keeping law and order.
The installation of CCTV cameras, Your Excellency, is a system that we want to roll out from the Nairobi city, Mombasa city, goes to Kisumu city, and other major towns within our country.
And as they move out to their various postings, the officers were advised to shun corruption. Patrick Amimo, KTN.
And now to a looming crisis in the health sector, and it is emerging that the largest donor to Kenya's HIV and AIDS programs is scaling back on its funds to the country. The United States Presidential Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, will soon focus on only 10 of the counties worst hit by HIV. As KTN's Bulkis Tanyabo reports, the move has alarmed beneficiaries of this program.
You don't take this when you're going to drive in the next 1 hour.
Easy access to antiretroviral medicines and support means a diagnosis of HIV no longer means death. But once patients start taking the drugs, they must remain on them for the rest of their lives. The idea that they may one day once again lack access is one many would not like to entertain. Dorothy Onyango can attest to the long journey it has taken to get to this point. When she tested positive for HIV in 1990, HIV was still a taboo topic, spoken of in whispers. Worse still, she and others had no access to antiretroviral drugs. The drugs soon came into the Kenyan market, but the cost amounted to 120,000 shillings for a monthly dose. This came down to 60,000 shillings, then 40,000 every month, but this was still beyond the reach of many.
I actually did not pay for my drugs. I was waiting for the day that the drugs would be free or would be affordable. I was just trying to live positively from the information I got from where I traveled. And you said you eat healthy, you avoid stress. So we were actually just gambling with our lives to ensure that we live until such a day that we will find the drugs cheaply.
It may have seemed like an unattainable goal, but in 2003, President George Bush lobbied for the creation of the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, commonly referred to as PEPFAR. It would channel hundreds of millions of dollars to Kenya and other countries, paving the way for millions of Kenyans to receive free ARVs. Today, out of 1 million Kenyans in need of ARVs, 640,000 receive the drugs at no cost from public health facilities. The government, together with a few donors, supports just 10% of these. The Global Fund supports another 20%, but the bulk of funding, 70% to be exact, comes from PEPFAR, and PEPFAR is scaling down in Kenya. In the 2013-2014 financial year, PEPFAR allocated Kenya $529 million to fund drug provision as well as support various programs. In the 2014-2015 financial year, Kenya will receive $460 million. PEPFAR is now focusing on core interventions.
Those who have been tested HIV positive, they will support procurement and distribution of ARVs so that the people they've been supporting will continue to get that support in public health facilities and free of charge.
This means less or no funding for support programs such as sensitization of the public and community support. Further, after 2015, no more patients will be added to the list supported by PEPFAR. And that's not all. After 2015, PEPFAR will narrow down its programs to the 10 counties with the highest HIV burden. The list includes Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa, Nakuru, and Siaya. The move now sending a message to the government that in coming years it will need to play a greater role in ensuring the country does not take a step backwards. But will the government act?
Somebody has been supporting you for long, paying your rent and supporting your family. Even if they tell you one day we will stop, you think that they will not stop. So the reality has now dawned in that PEPFAR is cutting. They are not stopping, but they are reducing the support. It is a time to remind the government that even if PEPFAR was not there, it is the responsibility of the government of the day, whether national or country government, to make sure that people in their country are healthy.
Out of over 1 million people in the country who should be on treatment, it is estimated that just over 600,000 are receiving their ARVs. And with PEPFAR now scaling back funds, it is feared that the gains made in the fight against HIV and AIDS in the last 20 years may be lost. Wilkes Tanyabwa, KTN in Nairobi.
To Kisumu now, where the funeral of 5 people killed in recent skirmishes in Nyakach turned into high drama involving anti-riot police. Nyakach MP Aduma Owor, who had vowed to conduct the ceremony at Kisumu's Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground, had to engage in a cat-and-mouse game with the police to pull off the event. Fredo gives us the story.
Kisumu's police chiefs deployed officers around the Jomo Kenyatta Sports Ground ostensibly to prevent any gathering that could attract terrorists. The move came as the controversial Nyakach MP, who has repeatedly accused the police of collusion in the chaos in his constituency, was trying to hold the final rites for the violence victims. Despite all the preparations, they were forced to use Nyanza General Hospital mortuary grounds for the ceremony.
These are signs of a failing state. You know, states don't just fail overnight. States start to fail in this manner, where citizens can be slaughtered in broad daylight for no good reason. This kind of mass murders, of mass burials, are things that can only remind us of the unfortunate events of Rwanda in 1994.
Speaker after speaker claimed that the bloodshed in Nyakach is a meticulously planned process that shadowy figures are pushing, with cattle theft being used as a smokescreen.
How come that this time they are attacking the very people who live in the border with them? Why? Could it be because somebody thinks that Nyakach can be pushed further up so that oil, if discovered around there, can now be remained in Rift Valley? The boundaries between communities will remain the way they have been all along. Boundaries will not be shifted with or without oil.
And in a rare concurrence with Jubilee leaders, Kisumu Senator Professor Anyang' Nyong'o called for an amendment to the Constitution to give counties more powers to defend themselves against insecurity.
The county government is completely dependent on the national government when it comes to issues of security, which is a contradiction in the very spirit of the Constitution. So my fellow parliamentarians, this is one thing that must be reviewed and amended in this Constitution.
Once the ceremonies were concluded, the cortege that was to conduct a procession around Kisumu city ran into problems when police blocked their path, or so we thought. Decoy hearses were deployed to keep the police busy as the main convoy converged elsewhere, leaving the security agents bewildered. The convoy snaked its way around the city, spreading the somberness that has gripped Nyakach ever since Aduma's parents were mysteriously murdered last year. Weeks after the vicious attacks that rekindled memories of the 1992 ethnic clashes, the security apparatus has made no arrests, raising the question, is there a hidden hand keen on stoking hatred between the border communities? From Kisumu City, I am Fredo Mulo.
To Rwanda now, where preparations are underway to mark the 20th anniversary of the genocide that left nearly 1 million people dead. Ordinary Rwandans became killers and neighbors' enemies, wiping off entire villages in just 100 days. But now a handful of victims and perpetrators live side by side in a small community known as the Reconciliation Village. But as Sam Ogina reports, many of them are still struggling with the trauma of the killings that shocked the world.
Sitting very still, hands folded and with a soft voice, John Bosco Rurangirwa relieves the trauma of seeing his family hacked to death as they sheltered with thousands others in a church. 20 years ago, it is said that one person died every 10 seconds over a period of 100 days as genocidal government troops joined by armed militia swept through the country. But today, perpetrators and victims live side by side in a village now called the Reconciliation Village. The village is funded by the non-profit Christian organization Prisons Fellowship International, providing homes in exchange for reconciliation between the two former enemies, both Hutus and Tutsis. During the genocide, members of Cecile's family were brutally killed with machetes, and she only managed to survive by fleeing into neighboring Burundi. Now Cecile lives next door to one of the men responsible for the slaughter of his entire family. Tried by Rwanda's traditional Gashasha courts, Frederick Kazigwemo had his sentence cut short after he confessed to killing 9 people, including members of Cecile's family. Since 1994, the Rwandan government has worked to build a common national identity.
They share the same culture, they share the same language, they share the same believing in God. So what Hutu, Tutsi and Twa have in common is much, much more than what can devise artificially them.
These children may share a yard and a future, but the reconciliation village is still an exception in Rwanda, where many people are still haunted by the memory of the genocide 20 years ago.
Now, coming back home, a new study now suggests that obesity in children is 3 times more serious in private schools than in public schools in Kenya's urban areas. The report also indicates that while children in rural areas are grappling with malnourishment, their counterparts in towns are getting overweight because of junk food and lack of physical activity.
Children today prefer passive engagements and avoiding intense physical activities. Plenty of ready-to-eat junk food in the market has also ensnared many children in unhealthy eating habits. The result has been obesity amongst children and youth becoming a health concern in the country.
It is very important that parents allow their children to go out and play because that helps in their growth and development.
In rural areas, the Kenya 2014 report card on physical activity and body weight of children and youth found that 25.6% of the children were malnourished with no prevalence of obesity. However, in urban areas, especially Nairobi, a study of 1,479 pupils in private schools found that 16.7% were overweight and 6.9% were obese. Out of 3,846 of children in public schools, 5.7% were overweight and 1.6% obese, revealing that private schools have 3 times more obese and overweight children than public schools. Parents of children in urban areas have been blamed for the lifestyle of their children, where most play indoors and are driven to school, unlike their counterparts in rural areas who have plenty of playtime and where walking long distances to school is the norm.
Those people building schools, establishing schools on the 4th, 3rd, 5th floor of a flat to think twice, because the end effect is that they will provide the academic aspect of learning, but they will kill the physical and the motor aspect of human growth and development.
But the picture is not so bleak yet. In Nairobi, 3.7% of children were found to be underweight, 75.5% were normal weight, while 14.4% were found to be overweight and 6.4% were obese. According to doctors, childhood obesity has both immediate and long-term effects. Some of the immediate effects are stigmatization and poor self-esteem and pre-diabetes. In the long term, children who suffer from obesity are likely to get heart disease, type 2 diabetes, stroke, or even cancer. Najma Ismail, KTN.
Definitely a worrying reality. Well, we now take a short commercial break. But before then, let's have a reminder of our big question tonight. And we had asked you, do you think the repeated strong warnings to terrorists by the government are making any difference? Well, interact with us. The number is 22155. Or if you choose to comment via Twitter, tweet me at Betty Kialo, at KTN Kenya, or with a hashtag Friday Briefing. And we'll be sampling your views during the show.
No, speak in English.
Oh, you're sure you're in English?
You see, where I come from, the country where I come from, English is a default setting. You see, the way you buy your phone with the message, missed calls, things you don't download. A Luo child is born with English with them. You see, when a Luo child takes the report book back at home, your father asks you, how have you performed in rocket science?
What's that?
That is Kiswahili. And how have you performed in mother tongue? That is English. You see, we are born already.
It's inside.
You see, then you wonder why so many Luos are doctors, lawyers. You see, the way you speak to your child from the word go. You see, when a Luo parents walk at home, I text to 2 years old, Dr. Viambo, have you bathed? You see, the the kid knows that later in life I'm supposed to be a what?
A doctor.
Engineer Uma. That is a five-year-old child. So English is not a problem.
Okay, so let's keep it English then.
Good.
Okay, great. You know, whenever I see other, laws, like you're saying, other doctors and the engineers, there's a video that comes to mind, and I want us to just play a bit of that video.
Okay.
So that people understand what exactly I'm talking about.
Good.
Let's just have that video.
There are cultures. Then there is the Luo culture. The culture from where Obama was born. The culture that is Lupita. Yes. The culture that is Daniel Adongo. The only African playing the American football. But do we say? From this culture, we present the first ever Luo Festival. Yes, the Luo Festival. A chance for you to come and experience the Luo culture and lifestyle at Carnival on the 26th and 27th April 2014 from 10 a.m. Live on stage will be Suzanne Owio, Idi Achieng, John Jr., Lady Maureen, Emma Jalamo, Onyi, Papa J, Princess Julie, Osogo Owino, Igwe Banderson, Atomi Sifa, Madanje Perimeter, Kofi Makadori, and many more. Hosted by Jalango, Eric Omondi, Will Broda, Otoyo, and Owago Nyiro. There'll be a fashion show by Kenya's best designers. The best Luo delicacies will be in the menu. You don't have to be a Luo to attend. Luo is not a tribe. It is a calling. Entry is 2,000 bob per day or 3,000 bobs.
Luo is not a tribe.
Luo is not a tribe. Luo is not a calling.
You know what? Sell Luo to me. I want to understand this.
They say in that plane there were black people, white people, and the Luos. Luo is not even a calling anymore. Luo is a race.
No, you're too much now.
Yes.
With the Luo vibe. But before that,
yes,
I've ever attended a Gor Mahia match. And I just have to say, there's a moment I felt a bit scared.
Why?
So you have, this lower side, but you have Gor Mahia.
No. Let me tell you.
Where do the stones come in? I know you're a big fan.
I'm a very, very big fan of Gor Mahia, and I would easily tell you, Gor Mahia fans are not rowdy, or are they hooligans? You see, they just express themselves in capital letters. They just want. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not hooliganism.
It's not hooliganism?
No. But we are talking to them to tone it down for the love of football.
Yes.
And also for integration together, yes.
Now, that one thing I wanted to ask you about is this suit.
This suit.
I'm very worried. Do you have one suit? Because we can actually contribute some money to just
I have so many green suits, but one blouse.
Really?
This is a blouse, not a shirt. Now, if this blouse gets lost today, you see, I'll buy time on KTN prime time. You see, when the news is starting and the clock.
Yes.
Please,
that's the most expensive time.
Yes. Please, whoever has seen this blouse, bring it back. And in my will, I've written, bury me like this, I'll be okay.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So now we want you to introduce a story. And it's so funny that it has to feature the person you're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Take it away, Jalas. Take it away. Camera 2 is yours.
Oh, camera 2 ni gani?
Ni kwa hapa mbele.
Okay, sawa.
I thought we were not speaking Kiswahili.
Oh, okay. Another Oscar is coming home, and this time is not by the daughter of the late Lupita Nyong'o. No, this time is another guy, another Kenyan. No, another Luo. This guy is Benji Ochieng. Benji Ochieng is a key actor in the movie God Isn't Dead. The movie is about to hit the screens in Kenya, and Benji says this is only the beginning of big things to come. We spoke with a 53-year-old earlier this morning, and he told us about his dreams and hopes for Kenya movie industry. Benji Ochieng, I introduce you. Take it away, my brother.
Born and bred in Jericho, Nairobi, Benjamin Ochieng had a dream. It is this dream that saw him leave for the United States to pursue his vision. After graduation, he relocated to Hollywood to pursue a career in music and acting, and has never looked back since.
What do you say to people that are offended by your show because you pray to Jesus in every episode?
He has worked on numerous feature films and TV shows and now the latest movie, God is Not Dead.
This drama unfolds in the classroom between the professor who's an atheist and this student who is a Christian, and the professor wants this student to sign on a paper that God is dead before he can join their class, and the kid says, no, I can't do that, I'm a Christian, God's not dead. So then the professor tells him to do a debate and defend his faith.
The movie, which has been out since March 21st, has grossed over $25 million in the box office, finishing 4th place in each of the 2 weeks it has been playing.
Right now we are 25 million, 2 weekends, and that's good, you know, and that's only America, you know, so I think we're gonna do better when the whole world watches it.
PureFlix, the entertainment company behind the faith-based movie, also has a Kenyan agenda.
For now, we're just here to, you know, God's not dead, but they're coming back to shoot stuff over here and see that we can help each other. Because, like the president said, we have everything over here. The landscape, you know, the animals, everything, man. This is a great place to shoot.
The 53-year-old who has been in the industry has nuggets of wisdom to share with the budding actors in Kenya.
Actors out there, please just keep it up. Just stay with it. It's your passion. Don't let anybody tell you any different. You know, just work it.
The movie premieres on the Easter weekend at IMAX Nairobi, and Benji is not about to stop. He has plans for a Kenyan movie known as Cheza and hopes that Kenyans will embrace it and run with it. Naga Otieno, KTN.
We're going to put God on trial.
If you think you're smarter than me, do not try to humiliate me in front of my students.
I'm very proud of Benji, but I'm sure you are like 100% prouder than I am.
No,
if
you
there's
see,
something like that.
sometimes you don't have to be proud. This is reflect. I'm home. This is normal.
This is normal.
Yes.
Now, Jalas, there's something I want to do. This shirt, you've had this shirt for too long. And I finally got you another shirt. Let me just have this shirt. Let me welcome my colleague. Thank you for that. Okay, great. So this is a new shirt.
This is a new shirt.
It's a new shirt. Okay, it's in the on the hanger because nimenunua Gikomba. Sijanunua kwa duka.
Okay.
Kwa sababu najua hiyo yako you got it in Gikomba. Do you like it?
What label is it?
It's a gift. Can you really appreciate it?
Okay.
Do you like it? These colors are much better than that one.
So when
this one, is it even clean?
No. This is. I still love this one. I still love this one. But thank you for the shirt. I will donate it.
No. You don't donate a gift. You wear it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Betty. I have a new shirt, but maybe you'll see me wearing this not in any show.
Really?
But maybe not when I'm in any show.
But you have to wear it somewhere.
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome. Even if it's a pajama, just unaikunjaje.
Oh, sati na kunjwa.
Just put it on the desk there.
Okay.
It cost me an arm and a leg. So
thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, now because you've said you're going to wear it in other things that you do. What is the latest? What are you now currently doing?
Wow. I'm doing Taska Twende Kazi, one of the biggest reality TV shows. We're traveling to London.
You have to mention London.
We are traveling to London next week on Friday. Ndio KQ 787, the Dreamliner. We will be the first guest in the Dreamliner.
Really?
Yes.
You know it's coming with people.
My friend, let me tell you.
Morning.
Yes, it's coming with people. Then on the 11th, we leave with it to London. You see, when I was first in London.
Oh, you've ever been to London? That's what you're trying to say.
When I was first in London, when we just got to Heathrow, you know, I woke up from the dream.
So you've actually never gone to London?
This is my first time.
This is your first time?
I'm so happy. I'm looking forward for it. Yes, I will. I'll tweet I'll put on Facebook, put everywhere.
Okay.
Yes.
How are you enjoying Twende Kazi?
It's an amazing thing.
Are you
It's
fit now?
people coming together, the region,
Yes.
Uganda, Tanzania, now other people are in Spain, just showing the togetherness that people can become.
Okay.
It's amazing.
All right.
Yes.
Great. Jalango will still have you in studio, but for now, I think it's prudent that you introduce our business anchor, Bonnie Tunya.
Okay, Bonnie Tunya.
You know anything about business?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great.
Which camera?
Camera 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I want to take you straight to our business segment where Bonnie Tunya will be giving us the numbers. We want to see who are the blue chips, who are the movers and the shakers, and who is making name in the business industry. Bonnie Tunya, oh my God, today is a Luo day. Yeah? Take it away, my brother.
That's right, Jalang. Actually, Luo is not a calling anymore. It's a software. You need to have it installed. But coming up in business, we have your favorite. And as always, we'll give you the numbers with a look at how the market closes on Friday. So do stay tuned. Good evening, my name is Bonnie Tunya. This is a Friday briefing business beat. Now, Safaricom has pulled out of the deal to buy U Mobile assets. This just comes days after the Communications Authority of Kenya spelled out new 13 conditions that the firm and Airtel Kenya would have to meet to complete the planned takeover. Here is Adelaide Changole with the latest of the details.
Last Friday, the Communications Authority of Kenya unveiled a list of conditions that Safaricom and Airtel would have to meet in order to acquire U Mobile assets. According to the deal, Safaricom was to acquire U Mobile infrastructure and Airtel Kenya would get the 2.5 million U Mobile users. But only if it met 13 stringent requirements, among them an upfront fee of approximately 400 million shillings. Further to that, both operators had to agree to share the infrastructure with industry players, which for Safaricom meant it had to open up its M-Pesa agency network to rivals such as Airtel, Orange, and the newly licensed mobile virtual network operators.
This is a healthy thing so long as it is done within the confines and guidance of the rules that would not let into one or so of the players to abuse their dominance role.
The conditions left Safaricom weighing whether the value of the assets it wanted to acquire from U Mobile superseded the value it got from having full control of the M-Pesa network. Safaricom has been opposed to such a move, arguing that it has taken years of hard work and billions of shillings to build their network, which makes it hard to open it up to rivals for free. And days after the conditions were laid out, Safaricom confirmed that it has pulled out of the U Mobile buyout deal. Safaricom has also raised concerns whether the authority exercised its mandate on the matter properly, as regulation of mobile money falls under the purview of the Central Bank of Kenya. Moreover, Airtel Kenya has already filed a case against Safaricom, accusing it of abusing its market dominance. And the matter is pending before court, making the demand that Safaricom open its network moot. But even as Safaricom bails on the buyout, it is emerging that the regulator might have set up the entire deal to fail in order to give its preferred buyer a chance to purchase U Mobile. Adelaide Changole, KTN Business.
Signature Club International has officially opened doors to one of the most exclusive members club in the country. Capital Club East Africa opens in the country as exclusive business clubs frequented by high-end and high-profile individuals and corporate executives continue to gain popularity in Nairobi as Kenya positions itself as East Africa's business hub. The exclusive club is targeted by the elite business community with a need to help conduct business and social affairs in a controlled environment. Membership recruited is by invitation only or personal application and is subject to the management's decision. Applications are considered by the membership committee after careful screening by the membership department. When references have been taken up in less than a year, Capital Club has already signed up 500 members with a target to get as many as 800 members. Once one becomes a member, they get access to over 200 capital clubs around the world, giving a platform for business leadership to connect with the international market. Right, upgrading work at Kengen Wind Farm on the Ngong Hills of Nairobi ran into headwind today when residents stormed the site in protest. Efforts to install extra turbines met resistance when residents accused the energy generator of failing to meet its corporate social responsibility to the community. Here is KTN's Philip Keitani.
Power generator Kengen is in the process of installing extra capacity at its Ngong Hill site to add an additional 25 megawatts of power to the national grid. However, local residents came out to protest the expansion, accusing the company of failing in its mandate to uplift the lives of the residents in the area.
Kuna proposal ambayo tumeziandika mara mbili. Kuna proposal ya 6 turbines na kuna proposal ya 24 turbines ambayo saizi ndio wanaziweka, lakini hakuna hata moja wameweza kuja kutaka kusikiza wananchi wale ambao wanaishi hapa ni nini watawafanyia.
These residents accused the power generator of not keeping its promises to them that it made in 2008 when it first moved to the area and erected 6 turbines that produce 5 megawatts. The locals are now demanding that the company implement the project it had promised to them, or else no work will continue at the hill. Some of their demands include the construction of schools and water projects, as well as an environmental assessment on the hill, saying the exercise on the hill has affected the sources of streams flowing downhill.
Kama Kengen hakuna project watatufanyia kama CSR, kama jamii. Tunawaambia tafadhali waachane na project yao mpaka siku ile watakuja tusikizane, tukae kwa meza, kwa sababu tumewapea wakati mrefu. Kutoka 2008 we have been talking to them, we have been discussing, we have been trying to negotiate, we have been trying to give them ample time ya kutufanyia at least one project, but they have never done any.
The protest blocked out more than 1,500 casual workers working at the site, as well as athletes, tourists who are heading to the area. Philip Keitan, KTN Business.
Right, let's talk numbers now with a look at the money market report as well as the securities exchange coming up next. And so on this Friday, Equity Bank was the biggest and the busiest counter, moving just about 7 million shares. I have more numbers on Monday. My name is Bonnie Tunya. Back to Betty.
Thanks a lot, Tunya, for that. Now let's have a recap of our top story tonight. And we began in Mombasa, where police kept vigil on streets all day ahead of the anticipated demonstrations to protest the killing of controversial preacher Abubakar Sharif. A few youth who tried to disrupt the peace were contained by the police, but chilling messages blared from the loudspeakers of Majengo's controversial Masjid Shuhada. The activists who had planned to hold the demos called them off after the country's security bosses held their ground that the demos would be a serious threat to the security. Well, it's that time that we cross over live to Kisumu County, where Willis, the word master, is standing by for tonight's pronunciation lesson. Willis, I kind of miss you having you in studio.
I know, but I'm also missing the Nairobi studio right down here because I got back to Kisumu City.
Yeah.
First thing, enjoying tilapia ngege.
Next time, bring me some of that. Now, Willis, let's begin our lesson tonight. And this week, there has been varied pronunciations of a certain word. Do we say alias or alias? I'm sure you've heard that also.
I've heard many people talking about Elias Makaburi. That is what I'm hearing a lot of. That is this week. But Betty, we don't talk of Elias. We say alias, alias or alias. Just like the other word, we don't say to liaise with somebody. We say liaise, to liaise or liaise. And we also say the days, not the dias. So some of these words, we mispronounce them according to what exactly we acquired when we were young.
All right, so it's alias, not alias. Great, got you on that. Let's move on now. Do we say a herd of cattle or kettle?
We say cattle. We have the front low vowel not a. Cattle, not kettle. When we talk about kettle, we are talking about what we call in Kiswahili birika. Just like we also say rattle, not rattle. We also have prattle, prattle, not prattle.
All right, got that. When you're referring to scarcity of food, do we say famine or famine? We have featured this word several times, but it seems to be giving a number of people a couple of problems. Is it famine or famine?
What many people acquire at pre-primary or primary level of education is famine. Most people. But Betty, that is wrong. We should say famine. Famine. Just like we say determine, not determine. Determine. Famine, not famine.
Okay. Now, what is the correct pronunciation of the name given to someone who owns property or business? Is it proprietor or proprietor?
That makes me laugh because most of us find, often say proprietor, proprietor, but not knowing which is which. Anyway, we say proprietor. Proprietor, not proprietor. No. Just like we also say proprietary, not proprietary. And we also say proprietorship, proprietorship, not proprietorship, which some people normally say. Yes.
Proprietorship. That one I have to practice, I won't lie. But got that one, Willis. Okay, there's now another word that gives people a couple of problems. There's solemn. You hear people saying solemn. Is that correct?
Letter N, which is at the terminal or the ending part of that word, is not pronounced. We say solemn. N is silent. Just like we say condemn, condemn, not condemn. So we should not be pronouncing N when we talk about solemn. But remember, we have solemnize and we also have condemnation, condemnation. There we pronounce letter N. But solemn is solemn, not solemn. Condemn is condemn, not condemn.
Okay, condemnation but not condemn. It's condemn, great. Okay, how do we differentiate the pronunciation of these two words, A-L-T-E-R and A-L-T-A-R?
You are talking about to change and a religious place?
Yes.
Or to change and a religious place. Okay. A-L-T-E-R, altar, altar.
Altar.
A-L-T-A-R, also altar, altar. So the two words are called homophones. Those are words which are spelled differently but pronounced the same way, Betty. So there is no difference. Just altar for both cases. Just like you can say sea, bahari, sea, S-E-A, and sea, kuona, S-E-E. So the two words are also pronounced differently, but pronounced, they are spelled differently, but pronounced the same way.
Okay, Willis. Moving on to, do you have a surprise word now that you're back, in Kisumu County?
Surprise word. Anyway, I'll deal with two for tonight, Betty.
Okay.
One, we don't say oasis, oasis, the way that word is spelled. We pronounce that word as oasis, oasis. I know most people will wonder, is that the pronunciation? Anyway, oasis, no. Oasis, yes.
Okay,
Then
oasis.
we have the plural of the word radius. Radius. The plural is not radii the way it is spelled. We say radii, radii, not radii the way many people would find themselves pronouncing that word, Betty.
Radii.
There you are.
Okay, Willis. Moving on to our feedback. Okwemba wants to know the correct pronunciation of the news organization called Reuters. There's so many pronunciations of that name. Which is which?
So many, but we'll be agreed on one thing, that is not purely English. The word is not purely English. Anyhow, when we talk English or in the English context, we just pronounce that word as Reuters, Reuters, not Reuters, not Reuters, and all that. So the correct pronunciation for that organization is Reuters, Reuters.
Reuters, okay. P_Mwago wants to know, what do you call that brief appearance of a known person in, say, a movie, a song? Is it a cameo or a cameo?
That also amuses me, Betty. We say cameo, not cameo, not cameo. You know, so many versions for that word. We say cameo, cameo.
It's always a pleasure having you on the show for Mind Your Language. Hope to see you again next Friday.
That is after 6 or 7 days, and I'll also really be enjoying my sit right from Kisumu City.
Willis, the Wordmaster, coming to us live from Kisumu County. Remember, you can participate in Mind Your Language by simply tweeting me a question that you have for him. That has been Mind Your Language right here on Friday Briefing.
That is my brother Willis Ochieng, all the way from Kisumu City, giving you word by word in Minding Your Language. And you don't say management, you say management. Management. Yes, management. And at that point, at management, we want to see what is happening in the fields, and I will take you straight to Lane Washira to give us the sports news.
Thank you very much. And just before we, of course, take a short break, many sports fans want to know what sport you love or what sport you actually enjoy. Is there any?
What sport I love? Range Rover Sport.
Are you serious? Okay, I think on that Range Rover sports note, we will take a short break, but we'll be right back with more serious sports news. Do stay with us. Well, a very good evening and a warm welcome to KTN Sports. Today, I'm Lane Washira, and straight to the sports news, where Kenya will send a trim team of 14 athletes to the East Africa Junior Championships set to be staged in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on the 19th and 20th of April. Athletics Kenya aims at having the athletes gain experience and competition exposure ahead of the Africa Junior Championships and the World Junior Championships later in the year. Athletes in the junior ranks have a variety of competitions to choose from this year. The Youth Olympics in China and the World Junior Championships in Oregon, USA in July will be the climax events of the 2014 timetable.
It's always good to produce a team that can go and compete so that you are part and parcel of the support of the region.
19-year-old Sheila Chemgetich is among the athletes who secured slots in the national junior team that was selected at the Nyao National Stadium. Chemgetich clocked 4 minutes, 16 minutes and 6 seconds to win the 800 meters race. After bagging a bronze medal at the Africa Junior Championships last year and qualifying for the finals of the Africa Youth Championships in Ukraine, Patrick Rono made the team to Addis Ababa after winning the 800 meters race ahead of Noah Kipkosgei and Anthony Kiptoo.
Inabidi nidharishe vizuri tuone kwamba tumeenda kuleta hizo mamedal huko.
In other selected results, Hosea Cherotich won the 1500 meters race, beating Bana Katui and Jonathan Sawe to second and third places respectively, while Hannington Kiroi clocked 8 minutes 37.6 seconds to earn himself a ticket to Addis. As the season takes shape, Athletics Kenya will send a strong team of 14 junior athletes to the East African Region Junior Championships in Addis Ababa, where 9 other countries, including Eritrea, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Sudan, will participate. And all the best to the team that was selected. But shifting gears now, even after 13 players were dropped from the Kenya Under-20 team, the team has intensified its training as it prepares to take on Tanzania during the Under-20 Africa Youth tie on Sunday. The team is optimistic that it will be a cut above the opponents after 9 players were called to come to replace the initial 13 players.
The release of 13 players from the national under-20 team due to age-related issues has not dampened the dreams of the youthful team. The team is in its final preparation ahead of the match against Tanzania on Sunday. 13 players were dismissed from the camp after CAF directed that eligible players should have been born on or after 1st January 1995. The Kenya Under-20 team head tactician John Kamau, however, remained optimistic that his side is ripe for the national duty.
Tunaendelea vizuri na Moso, wakati pia tumepata wachezaji wengine wamerudi nyumbani na tumeleta wachezaji wapya, lakini nafurahi vile wao wachezaji wapya wana-adjust to the style of play.
Kakamega Homeboys duo of Evans Malachi and Dennis Nandwa, alongside Amos Asambeka of Sony Sugar, new inclusions to the side. Others are Thika United Archers goalkeeper Levis Opio and Crispina Zonyango of KCB. Others include Hira Liotieno and Samuel Muriungi of Kariobangi Sharks, Joel Gashoka of JMJ Academy and Ligindogos Brian Yator to form the squad that welcomes neighbors Tanzania.
Kenya tuna talanta kuliko hata hizi nchi zingine ziko hapa karibu nasi, but ukiangalia maandalizi yetu ama organization yetu kidogo ndio inaleta mshiki.
Some of the players have been impressive in the Under-20 Cup, and if properly capped and nurtured, the now crop of players will be part of Harambee Stars options in future.
Kuna goalkeeper ambao ametoka Tusker, Faruk, nadhani miaka 3 zinakuja, nafikiri wao ni kipa atakuwa katika timu ya taifa. Then kuna mchezaji kama vile Sami Meja, the fullback 3. Then tuna vile Patila Omoto na pia company kutoka timu ya Gor Mahia.
The qualifiers will be played this Sunday at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos, with the second leg set for 26th April this year in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Moses Wahisi, KTN Sports.
And of course, keeping it football too, Kenya Premier League KPL Top 8 quarter-final matches are scheduled for this weekend. AFC Leopards travel to Nakuru, Afraha Stadium, where they will host Bandari from Mombasa. Bandari will be taking part in the knockout tournament for the first time, while Leopards will be seeking progression to make up for their dwindling fortunes in the Kenyan Premier League. Sofapaka, who are yet to win the tournament, play defending champions Tusker on Sunday at the Nyayo National Stadium. 2 more matches will be played over the weekend of April 19th and 20th. Premier League matches take a break to resume on Wednesday, when 8 matches will be played across the country.
Right, so we're just about to wrap things up here on Friday briefing. But before then, let's have a reminder and a review of our big question tonight. And we had asked you, do you think the repeated strong warnings by government to terrorists are making any major difference to our security? And let's now take a look at the poll. And 79% say no, this repeated strong warnings are not making any difference. And 21% say yes, indeed, those differences are making those warnings are making some sort of difference. That is a sort of a response that we've gotten. Let me just sample 1 or 2 here on my Twitter page. And Josephat Okora says, warnings don't work, especially with criminals. Actions speak louder than warnings or words. I believe in action. Aiden Cabello says, criminals can't be won on high podiums. You take the war to them in the dark alleys. Thank you very much for responding to our big question tonight. And before I leave or we leave, let me bring in Jalas. Jalas, now you have so many names. You have Jalas, you have Jalango Mwenyewe. On Radio Maisha, you have Inspector, you are Daktari.
I know,
mean,
those are
honestly.
characters we play. You see, Radio Maisha, the biggest morning show, is called Maisha Subuhi in the country. I'm a co-host with the amazing Alex Mwakideo. We are doing a great job there.
Mad chemistry. The chemistry on the show is amazing.
On 102.7 every single morning. Tune in Nairobi. Everybody's listening. Like from here, straight to Carnival.
Rumba night.
The Rumba night. And I'm calling everyone out there to come and join the whole great team from Radio Maisha at the Carnival for the Rumba night. Tickets. Of course, yes, I'll give you tickets. I'll give you tickets. You see, you know, Kenyans love complimentary tickets. That even a show that is free, but anakomba to ticket. No, it is free.
All right.
Yes.
So Rumba night happening. Actually, it's happening now.
It's happening right now. Everybody's there. Come and join the whole team from Radio Maisha. But if you can't make it, also you can still catch us every single morning on 102.7.
102.7.
Yes.
Right. Then I know you have a new show coming up.
Yes,
on
there's
KTN.
the new show.
Tell us about that.
There's a new show.
Yes.
I'm coming back on TV in a big way. You see, after Kenya Corner, we went for the second season break.
Yes.
Now we're bringing in the new show. Now where I am alone, I'm hosting the show alone.
Yes.
It's called Jalango with the Money.
You have money?
Yes and no.
Where is it?
Yes and no. You see, money is not everything.
Okay, fine.
Money is the only thing. Now.
Okay, that's what you got me.
Now, Jalango with the Money is the next biggest show that will take the youth of this country to the next level of entrepreneurship. We just want to make sure the youth do something new. It's comedy plus entrepreneurship plus fun.
Looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
It's been great having you on the show.
Appreciate it.
And of course, come back anytime.
I will come.
All right.
When you invite me. Thank you so much.
Let's say goodbye to our viewers using this camera here. Thank you very much for watching Friday Briefing. It's been amazing having you on the show. Let's see you again next Friday. I'm Betty Kialo.
Thank you so much. It was nice being here. Hoping to see you again. My name is Jalango. See you at the Carnival for the Radio Maisha Rumba Night.
All right.